Cheers, everyone.
Look, I am
Cheers.
water.
All I have is water.
Yeah, that's what I got too.
Our show's kicking off at the same time as the
Tyler's an alcoholic.
men's basketball championship is taking off. So, I hope
This
you
is
got
no
that.
longer a sports podcast. This is Tyler's intervention.
Ah, damn.
Drink too much beer and wine, and you're not sharing. That's the intervention.
That's the intervention. Yeah, that's secretly
right. Yeah. I've got it up on my TV right now, and just the game's about to start, but it hasn't started yet. So like the coverage is kicking in. They're gonna tip off in a couple of minutes. But yeah, I'm excited to
Why
take a look at
Duke
it.
Winning and they blew it. So
I
my
too
whole
had
bracket is busted. And not that I had a chance at winning it all. I just wanted to be right about the national champion, and I didn't get that right. So now I'm sad.
We'll see. Here's I filled out a couple of brackets. One of them I actually did have Houston winning the whole thing. So and in that one, if Houston does end up winning, I win the entire pool in that one. So that's kind of cool. I
I'm
always
talking about the one that counts, Vince.
Yeah. I always take the opportunity to find where Duke is going to lose, because I hate Duke as a principal and I do not want them to ever win another natty title. So I just try to figure out when's the soonest I can reasonably justify eliminating them. And this year I chose the Sweet 16. That was wrong. Obviously, they made it to the Final Four. So that's part of the reason. That's one of many reasons why the bracket is busted for me with our little side group here.
Cooper Flag is going to be an all-star when he gets in the league. You got to give Duke a little bit more credit with that guy. He's light years ahead of what Zion ever was.
There was that injury question right when we were picking things, and so I was like, oh, if he's going to be out, I'm going to be the first one on it to have them gone in the Sweet 16, and then he ended up, not being injured. So
I would trade my entire team, not name Curry, to get that pick.
Yeah, right.
I don't know, man. That dude looks so athletic, and he's only barely just turned 17. I heard something on the broadcast that he started college like a year early. So he's not even like a real freshman. He's essentially a senior in high school based on age. I don't know how true that is, but that's what they said on the broadcast when they were eliminated by Houston. So you're getting like an extra year. Impromptu thing. If you guys were a talent like Cooper Flag or whatever, like
top end
with NIL,
surefire number one pick.
About this the other day, actually during this game, I was thinking about this during the game. If I was that elite and I knew I was going number one, we know some of the teams who are competing for the number one pick with NIL. Would you consider going back to college, playing all 4 years, winning multiple national championships, or would you go to the NBA?
Well, at his age, if he's 17, he can't even play in the league. He'd have to play for like a G League Ignite type of situation.
Well, actually, it from what I understand, it's 1 year of college ball or pro ball, and then by the time he gets drafted, he'll be 18. So by the time the season rolls around, he'll be 18, and he'll have 1 year of college ball, so he'll be eligible.
Well, he's currently 18 years old right now, though, as it stands.
Okay,
his birthday was in
18,
December, so he just turned 18 in December, so that's not really a thing anymore. So yeah.
So if you guys were a talent, like, would you stay in college and take the NIL money, or would you go directly to the NBA?
Well, this is it's a couple of. I'd at least think about it. I would think about it because this might be the only year you're guaranteed to be the number one overall pick, right? I mean, you'd go into the following season projected there, but if an injury happens, or if you just don't play up to, if you have a down season, all of a sudden that stock takes a hit. I mean, there have been plenty of quarterbacks, like, to switch sports, that have said, you know what, I think I can get a little bit of a better draft pick out of myself if I go back to school and then do one more season, and then the value just falls apart. You have a rough season and you're done. So there is so you have to weigh against that, but also just the amount of money that you can get through NIL right now as well. So I don't like it, but it is
for sure.
It's the rules now. It's the way it is.
Tyler,
So you have
what
to at
say
least
ye,
consider it.
Tyler?
I think it depends. In my situation, I would say I think Cooper Flag has enough say in the Duke organization right now to go, I want to come back and win one if you can prove to me that we're going to draft some or acquire some young high school talent that could get us over the top. Otherwise, yeah, I'll take my chances. I'm going to be a number one pick. There's no question about that now. I will be a number one.
The number one pick is really the factor. Like if you're telling me I'm a first round pick, but I maybe pick 7 or 8, I think I might go back to school and try to get a little more money and then through NIL and then try to maybe be the number 1 overall pick the following year. But yeah, number 1, that's when it's really tough. And it's like that's when it's a real decision you got to make.
I would say he's a consensus number 1 right now.
I would agree that
he would be the number 1
for sure.
To answer my own question. Here's where I went with it. I totally agree with you guys what you're saying, but for me, not winning the national championship, I would want to get at least 1, maybe 2, because I think if I'm a national championship player, even if I don't go number 1, let's say I go number 2, I'm going to have an opportunity wherever I go because I believe in myself. I'm that good. I think wherever I go at the next level, I'm going to have 10, 15, 17 years in the NBA to win a championship, where for me, I want at least 1 of a national, because you can't go back to college and compete once you're in the NBA. So that was my only thing, that if I'm Cooper Flag or I'm that talented and I got NIL money, I might go back to college to win a national championship. I'm just...
Yeah, you and I are in agreement. But I think that's where Cooper Flag has enough pull to be like, prove to me in the transfer portal what talent we're getting, and I'll stay 1 more year. Otherwise, I'm a consensus number 1. I'm out. You know what I mean?
Well, like also, that decision has to be made almost immediately. Like the NBA draft is right around the corner. Basically, as soon as the playoffs end, the draft is the following week. So, and you have to declare for the draft pretty soon. So Duke has to, if they're going to, make that pitch to Cooper Flag, they have to make that pitch. They have to have already made that pitch, probably, if we're being honest.
Yeah. I think he's gone. I just thought it would be a fun.
I agree. I think he's
fun
gone
scenario.
Too. It's a little thought experiment. Yeah, and I think number 1 overall pick. I think I probably do go pro. But if I'm like I said, if I'm like a top 10, but like toward the back end of the top 10, I think that's when you really got to start thinking about going back to school for another year. If you're a top 5, that's when it's a coin flip. But like number 1, hell, even number 2. That's like that's big money at the pro level. And, and you can like whatever the contract ends up being from the team, you still, that's what endorsements are, right? That's NIL, that's endorsements. That's basically what it is, right? So you can get those pro endorsements that the team helps facilitate as well. So
yeah, look at Paige Bucher.
Beckers.
There you go. She's already on all over my Reddit page with Nike, so she's already making
signed the other league when she turns pro. It's an undetermined,
Unrivaled. Yeah,
Unrivaled. She signed an Unrivaled deal already. She can't play until her career and college level is done, but she's already signed.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, there's plenty of money for Cooper Flag to be made just by turning pro alone. I think he'll be fine without the NIL at this point. But
totally,
we digress. Boys, we're at the home stretch. The episode of this title is blood, sweat, and tears down the home stretch. And Warriors are giving it everything they absolutely have. We have taken 3 out of the last 4 games here. Warriors get the W on Tuesday against Memphis, 134-125. Curry gets the 52 points. Ja Morant gets the finger guns. And we move on to Thursday against the Lakers, 123-116 with the dub. Friday versus Denver, 118-104 with another dub. And then the Houston game, which I think officiating just decided to swallow the whistle and forgot that they even had one. They take a
Right.
loss to Houston, 106-96. They are currently 46-32, sixth in the West with 4 games remaining. Wherever you guys want to
Right.
jump in, you want to start with
So
Tuesday, however you want to do this.
well, I just want to talk about the records real quick. So the Nuggets are in the 4 seed with 32 losses. The Clippers are in the 5 seed with 32 losses. The Warriors are in the 6 seed with 32 losses. The Timberwolves are in the 7 seed with 32 losses, and the Grizzlies are in the 8 seed with how many losses? 32. So really, when like in the loss column, you're tied for 4th. The Nuggets have played one extra game. So they have 47 wins and 32 losses, but the other 4 teams, they're all tied at 46 and 32. Clippers, Warriors, Timberwolves, Grizzlies. And that's kind of where the tiebreakers currently stand. So the Clippers have the tiebreaker over the Warriors, but the Warriors have it over the Timberwolves and Grizzlies. So, and then the Timberwolves have it over the Grizzlies. So that's kind of how it stacks out right now. That loss kind of threw the Warriors back into that like jumble at 32 losses, which is a little unfortunate. But upcoming schedule is kind of where I'm looking at right now. Like the loss against Houston, yeah, it kind of sucks, but they're also the number 2 seed, and they've pretty much locked the number 2 seed up with that as well. So you're not going to catch them. That's fine. See you in the playoffs maybe, and we'll get to that renewed rivalry. All of a sudden, we are so effing back, man. That Rockets Warriors rivalry, that hate, the little the chippiness. We're back, baby. Even with the
even
with the
Rockets head coach
Yeah.
was getting in on the
yeah.
on the trash
Yeah,
talk.
so it's kind of funny. The Rockets kind of constituted a who's who of Warriors villains from the past, right? Because you have Fred VanVleet and you have Dylan Brooks like over there playing. You have the head coach who was the Celtics head coach when the Warriors beat them a couple years ago in the finals.
Who's a really good
So
coach. He was
he's
only
a good
ousted
coach.
because he was, getting a little too grabby on some of his
Yeah.
lady peers, I'll say.
Whatever was happening there. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and also
to
you
work.
gotta add Sengun, Alfred Sengun. He's the newest member of the
Al
hated
Sangoon, Crab Rangoon, don't care Warriors in 6.
train.
To work a little bit backwards here, Houston. I mean, I watched this game last night. There was definitely some bad calls on the refs. However, the Warriors just were not very good. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if they had 3 big games against Memphis, the Lakers, and the Nuggets, and they won those games. So maybe they were a little bit tired, exhausted. I don't know, but those games took a lot out of them. In Houston, I got to give them credit, man. They're like the number 1, number 2 defense consistently throughout the year, and they earned their number 2 spot. They've been really good defensively. And a lot of these turnovers that the Warriors gave up, the Rockets were doing their job. So I think sometimes when the Warriors lose, um, I'm not saying us, but sometimes the chatter around the team, when you listen to like national and local people who have who are talking about the Golden State Warriors, is that, oh, the Warriors had a bad game. Well, like sometimes the other team beats you, sometimes the
Yeah.
other team is really good. And the Rockets, there was the era where they were competitive and we were down 3-1, and then we come back and win the series, and that was a lot of fun. There's that Rockets team. And then they stunk for a long time because they were drafting and rebuilding. Well, their talent is coming into fruition. They got 4 guys that are 22 years old or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be a problem. And they have a really good head coach, who had some problems in Boston, but it's the one thing that he does coach well is defense. And that's what they're playing, so I want to give them credit. I really want to see them in the playoffs because I think it would be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
So working backwards, great win against the Nuggets, great win against the Lakers, and of course the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies, Lakers, and Nuggets were all really satisfying. but I think beating the Memphis Grizzlies was like extra satisfying. Just because I can't stand this this fake ass gangster stuff, that's on the court. You don't really need to go there. The finger pistols, and then Ja Morant goes and does it again. And it's not that I care what these people do in their personal lives, but like have self-awareness. And then for Buddy Hield to fall into the trap and do it is just idiotic. So, but anyway, just beating the Memphis Grizzlies for me was really satisfying because I just have zero respect for that team, that organization, and how they allow themselves to be conducted as an organization. So anyway, looking ahead, Phoenix, San Antonio, Portland, and the Clippers. I think you got to win out. I think now you just got through this gauntlet. You got to run another one. And these are all teams that Phoenix, San Antonio, and Portland, you should smoke those teams. The Clippers are going to show up because that game is going to be the game for seeding and tiebreakers, and you got to win all four.
Yeah,
you got to win out.
Last week when we were talking, I said 2-2 wouldn't feel good. I would love 4-0, but I want 3-1. Well, they gave us 3-1 over the last week, and so that's great, and that was important. I want 4-0. I want 4-0 this week. Like I need to have 4-0. And if you drop any of these games, especially if it's not the Clippers game, that's kind of not good heading in. Like I don't want to see sloppiness going into the playoffs. Like this is the time to get right. And if you close out, get all four of these wins, you went 7-1 in your final 8 games. The last 10% of the season, you won all but one game if you close out this week. And that has me feeling really good going into the playoffs. And if you win out, that you're still definitely you might grab the 4 seed. Depending on what the Lakers do, the Lakers I think would have to lose.
Lakers got a big win the other night. They beat OKC.
I think the Lakers would probably have to lose too many games. I think the 3 seed might be a little bit out of reach. But the 4 seed is well within reach. You're tied on losses. Remaining games actually for the Nuggets, they're at the Kings, they're versus the Grizzlies, and then at the Rockets. So if the Rockets handle that business against the Nuggets and you win out, that's the 4 seed right there, right? Because then you would have beat the Clippers, who are also ahead of you, and then the Nuggets fall back. That locks you into the 4 seed. So that's great. It sucks to have to, hope for a little bit of help from outside to get there. But even if you win out, you're getting the 5 seed. So that's what is. If you're trying to get a home playoff series, that's great. But like, I just want to get as high as possible.
Yeah.
Well, in the standings. That's what it's about for me. I don't want to even play with trying to get too close to being in the play-in tournament. I want no part of that. If they end up in the 6 seed, so be it. That's whatever it is, what it is. If that's where the chips, fall, but I don't want it. I don't like keep me out of that. Gross.
Hey,
so there we are.
Just random tangent thought here. I've got the national championship on. How come they always play with the stage elevated? Like the players,
I was thinking about that the other day.
Because didn't like that kid in Louisville snap his leg falling off the edge over there, or something like that? What's the? Obviously we're probably not gonna have the answer, but I just always thought
part of
weird.
Part of it is they're in a football stadium, and so by elevating the stage a little bit, it just kind of it helps with the sight lines and stuff. It helps with the projecting it onto the TV. It keeps fans from like getting in the way of the camera angles.
But it may keep me from wanting to dive for a loose ball. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I would
try to fall off a stage right here.
I want I would prefer to be on flat ground, but if you're not going to be on flat ground, please extend that sideline, like 20 feet in every direction. Like you got the room for it. You're on a damn football field. There's no reason for it not to do it.
The TV producer was like, they'll be fine.
Yeah. They got young.
Whatever.
bones.
They're kids. It's okay. It's the
they heal fast.
Well,
They'll
anyway,
bounce
well,
back.
speaking of opposite of young bones, old bones, Carmelo Anthony is a first ballot Hall of Famer, baby.
Yep.
He got announced this past week, and man, good for him. And I know he never really got, the ring, but as far as a resume goes, there's no doubt for what he did with Denver and New York that he's definitely a first ballot Hall of Fame. And
It's funny
happy to
that
have
that you bring him up in his Hall of Fame, because remember when he was leaving Syracuse, it was like he didn't want to go. Remember that? Remember he was like crying on stage
Right.
that, because he was going to go like either number 1 or number 2. It was so clear that he was going to go, that he was going to be that drafted that high, and this was pre-NIL. So, that's why I was saying that in earlier, like if you're a star player like Carmelo Anthony, like some of these kids enjoy college. Some of these kids want to win national championships where, I don't know, man, can you imagine if you are a basketball player? Because to make the Hall of Fame, it's the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's not the NBA Hall of Fame. So they're looking at your whole resume as a basketball person.
And I was going to get to that with some of the other people that are being enshrined as well, along with Carmelo. So you have Dwight Howard, who obviously, all-star, 8 times, 3-time DPOY, 19 years in the league. I mean, he was all over the place.
Right. Multiple scoring titles,
Yeah. And then you also Sue Bird, one of the greatest women's basketball players ever. She's getting inducted, as well as Maya Moore. So there's 2 women getting in. Sylvia Fowles is the third one. The next on the list is NBA official Danny Crawford. He retired in 2017.
No officials.
No officials at all.
That one made me chuckle. Billy Donovan, who of course he's the current coach of the Bulls. But
I was gonna say he's still active.
But he's getting in
college.
for his work in college as the basketball coach in Florida in 06 and 07. So
got that job in OKC.
I like how the other leagues do it. You got to be retired, man.
Yeah. Let's see. The 2008 Olympics men's basketball team, the Redeem team. Remember them? So that's kind of cool. And then who is it? Mickey Arison, who let's see, his father Ted bought the Heat in '88, and then he took over, and owners getting their own pat on the back for buying the right players at the right time, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, you say that, but there's no doubt that our ownership is definitely going into the Hall of Fame.
Oh no doubt. No. I'm gonna be all about it. I'm like it's one of the few times where I'm gonna be pro billionaire is when it's Joe Lacob's turn to get it into the Naismith Hall of Fame. Like
Joe and Peter.
I'm gonna be the biggest hypocrite around. Yeah, Joe and Peter. I'm gonna be the biggest damn hypocrite around. Okay, don't worry about that.
They're probably gonna produce their own movie and Last Dance.
Oh, they already are, man.
Hollywood.
They got the tape. They've been recording that. There's definitely some Katie stuff.
Dude,
like they know exactly what happened with Katie and Green.
When Curry is done and Clay is done and Draymond's done and they're all done.
It's probably like there's probably like a 10-year wait on it or something, like in the contracts. Like we won't release anything until the last.
There's going to be a simmer down moment, and then when they get to the episode of the Draymond Green Jordan pull punch.
Oh man!
I hope I make it another 10 years, man.
Oh God, yeah. Me too, buddy. Me too. It's gonna be so good. Okay.
Yeah, everything about that dynasty, the books, the shows, the movies. I mean, when the Warriors dynasty is all the team, I'll say when these guys are all done, it's going to be massive.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so there's your basketball Hall of Fame. I almost called it NBA, but that's not what it is. It is the Basketball Hall of Fame. Let's talk NCAA real quick. Obviously, the men's game is happening right now. It literally just tipped off like a couple minutes ago. Houston is up 4-2. Stop the count. Stop the count. We're done here. Okay. Paige Beckers and UConn finished the season on top. They defeated last year's champion South Carolina on Sunday, 82-59. And Paige Beckers is going to be your probably going to be the number one pick heading to Dallas, to the Dallas Wings in the WNBA. And that draft is happening next week, I think. Like it's coming
I think
soon.
It's like the 14th or 15th or something.
Yeah. We're like, we may be talking about it very soon, like next week. So Golden State Valkyries are going to be picking 5 this year. Speaking of 5, that's the channel they're going to be on. They're going to be on Channel 5 CBS. That's all their home games this year. All their games, period, are going to be on CBS. So instead of everybody else seems to find their way onto NBC Sportsnet over here in the Bay Area, but Golden State Valkyries are going to have their games on CBS. So
April
cool.
14th is the WNBA draft.
Yeah, so that's going to be happening probably while we were recording. So that'll be what we'll have on the TVs when we're recording next week. And I guess with that, that's the end of basketball. I think it's time to switch gears to hockey. Unless you guys got something else you want to talk about.
No, I'm ready. Let's do it. So the Sharks, they go 0-3. They did get the shootout loss at Anaheim on Tuesday. No pity point for Sam on that though. They lost. They come home. They lose to Edmonton 3-2, and then Seattle game. That one was pretty ugly. They lose 5-1. William Eklund actually got into his first career fight at the end of that game. He actually threw some hands. He delivered a hell of a right cross, man. So stick taps for the fight. Stick taps for Bill. Get it done there, but Sharks did not get it done on the scoreboard at all. The one note that I do have on the scoreboard for the Sharks is Tyler Toffoli is now in the securely in the top 5 Sharks list of players with the most goals in their first season in teal. So he has 28 this year. The guys that are ahead of him are Danny Heatley in 2009, 2010. That was 39 goals. He was paired up on that Jumbo and Thornton line. So a lot of biscuits in the basket that year. Sergei Makarov in 93, 94. That was the first playoff season for the Sharks. Owen Nolan, when he came over in 95, 96, he had 29 goals. And then there's Tyler Toffoli at 28. So, and then Ray Shepherd right behind him in 95, 96 as well. So that was that mid 90s team was kind of fun as well with Owen Nolan coming in and Ray Shepherd. But yeah, that's another tangent entirely. We don't need to go down this one. But Tyler Toffoli, I'm giving him some stick taps for his season. And 2 more goals. He's at 30 goals. That's a 30 goal season out of your the guy who may end up, like, if Logan doesn't end up playing anymore and he has to retire, maybe Tyler Toffoli ends up getting the C for a couple of years until Macklin's ready to wear it. Yeah.
I think that's a realistic outcome at this point. I think we've seen Logan Couture's last game in teal already. So that injury that he has, basically, anytime, like it's like an injury in the pelvis where you can't push off. It also means anytime he takes a dump, it hurts. But at this point, I just, he's, I think his career is done, honestly. Like a lot of guys that get this injury, almost none of them come back. And he tried to come back last year. I think he played like 5 or 6 games before shutting it down.
Yeah.
So
I know he's like at the Sharks facility. He can't like practice with the team or really do anything with the team. But I know he's I did read that he's skating, but he can't, other than skating, he can't really do anything that's like hockey related or hockey drills or hit anybody or be hit. I mean, that's, it's probably over. He'll probably never be able to dress and play in a game again, which is,
and if you can't, if you can't play a game again, honestly, you can't be captain anymore. And it sucks to say it like that, but a captain has to be able to play at some point, and I think that's what's probably coming in the off season is we'll probably have something go down and that's, like that's obviously for next season. There's still a few games left this year. We got about 6 games left. There's 4 this coming week, and then there will be 2 in the final week of the season before the Stanley Cup playoffs kick off. Upcoming week, they're at home against Calgary on Monday. That's tonight, actually. And that game will start in about an hour or so. and then they go to Minnesota on Wednesday. Then they're at Edmonton on Friday, and then they're at Calgary on Sunday. Tyler, I see you put your name down for the Minnesota game. I'm gonna take the Calgary game at home, so I think they're gonna win tonight. Is my prediction. Sam, what game do you think they're gonna win?
I was actually gonna take tonight because Celebrini is gonna put some goals. He's gonna put the puck in the net because the dude that's on the Flames is another Calder Trophy candidate. And Celebrini is gonna win it tonight.
That'd be nice. I would love that. The one thing I've noticed about Celebrini is he's been like now that they traded away Granlund and like the final pieces before the trade deadline, teams are targeting Celebrini now. Like they're really focusing and keying in on him. And the college hockey season is not as long as the NHL season, so he's getting a little bit worn down, I think. But that would be a great night to just put a little brace up there, to flash a brace and see, hey, here's a couple of goals for you, here's a couple of lamps.
That's a good segue question. I want to ask you guys, because let's say the Sharks don't get the number 1 pick. Matthew Schaefer is not available. If the Sharks can land a number 2 pick, I don't know how you guys feel, but if you've kept up on it or read it, but Michael Misa, or Missa, whatever you guys pronounce his last name, I just now looked. I wasn't sure what his stat lines were. I knew that he was, a preliminary center / left winger type of situation going on here, but he's played 65 games in the OHL and has 62 goals.
Love a scorer. Love a guy that can score,
134 points in this season. I don't know if that's, obviously we want to get more defense where we can, but that's one hell of a second pick. I mean, just saying. Don't know where you can go wrong with the top 2 picks.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just looked up at, so Michael Misa, he's, like you said, 72 assists as well. So 134 points in 65 games. It's 2 points a game, a little more than that. That's pretty damn good. That's pretty good. So, but if it's not a bad consolation prize if you don't end up getting Matthew Schaefer. But either way, like either one of those guys, they're going to help you out big time. And they're going to be able to help you out almost immediately, I think. I don't see.
He's not a small center, by the way. Like he's
6'1".
But he's 185 pounds.
185.
They pushing him.
2007 is when he was born.
Same as Schaefer. Schaefer was born in 2007 as well, too.
Yeah, so they're both turning 18 or just turned 18. Yeah, so they're both young, and that's what you like. You like guys that are young and flashing big time. So that's great. Either one of them would be great. Just kind of looking it up right now, and I like what the numbers show for Michael Misa if that ends up being the Sharks getting the number 2 pick. But
I mean,
let's not worry about that yet.
The closest guy, let me see, in the OHL currently that's going to be drafted, the closest guy with goals is Brady Martin, another center with 33 goals. Same amount of games, 57 games. So, I'm seeing
Porter Martone as well.
In the
right
OHL?
winger in the OHL. 57 games, 37 goals.
To be drafted though, I don't think he's ready to be drafted yet.
Well, he's the one I'm looking at has him projected number 3 to Nashville at this point. So I don't know.
Oh, that's right. Here you go. Yeah, you're right. 57 games and 37 goals, but still 62.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good consolation prize. I would agree. Yeah, I would agree.
Cooking with gas.
And you can give, he could play with Celebrini or play a second line with Celebrini off of it, give him a little bit of break at center there. So, hey, man, I'm looking ahead of here because the draft is around the corner for the Sharks.
That's right. Yeah, we got 6 games to go before we know what the Sharks' chances are at the number 1 pick. And then about a week after that, they're pretty quick with the lottery. They want to, strike while the iron's hot, so to speak, on that. So, speaking of striking, Alex Ovechkin struck big time this past week, including on Sunday. 7:26 in the second period, he officially becomes the NHL's all-time leading scorer, 895 career NHL goals.
Amazing.
Stick taps for the GOAT. Love that. And they delayed the game a little bit, right? I was at the I was at the Oakland Museum with my niece, so I didn't have a chance to actually watch it live happen, but I got that alert right away, and so Auntie Courtney had to
put
watch
full
a bit.
brakes on that train, and everybody stopped. Red carpet.
Yeah.
I mean, they did exchange gifts to the wife, photos with everybody. I mean, they stopped everything, and everybody had a speech, and they went and he high-fived his opponents, and then it was like, we got to clear this up and get back to a game.
Yeah,
I was like,
that was
an intermission, and then just let them go take a break. But okay.
Yeah, you got a little mini intermission in the middle of the second period there. Almost would have made. If I was playing, I would have almost rather he scored it either right away in the first period, like 2 minutes in, or let him score if you knew he was going to score on you. Either give it to me right at the beginning or right at the end. Either way, but having it right in the middle of the second period, that's kind of rough, man. Even just like at the end of a period, or whatever, then you can do it at intermission. If there was only if he scored with like a $1:10 left, then you do the celebration at first intermission, and then take an extended break. And they did start the game off at Sunday afternoon instead of evening time. It was like a 1 o'clock local puck drop.
Yeah.
So they knew ahead, they were smart enough to schedule it as an afternoon day game, so that way they had a chance to put it in a celebration, and nobody has to stick around till 12:30 a.m. on the East Coast. So
Right.
Yeah, Houston is up 10-12. Stop the count. Okay. Anyway, all right, let's switch gears again. Let's go now to the pitch, and we're gonna go across the pond to Wrexham. Tyler, how'd your boys do?
They got another win, man. 3-0 against Burton, baby. We are getting to the very end. I think there's like 5 games left, if not left. No, I think there's 4 games. Let me just double check in my math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games left. You still got some work to do. You are not too you're not pulling away from Wycombe here. They are
Wycombe did lose. They did drop a game. They still have a game in hand, but they did drop a game. So they're now 6 points back. So
you're 6 points, but you can't drop a game. I mean, you could tie a game, but God forbid you cannot lose a game down this stretch here.
Yeah.
If you want that automatic promotion, Birmingham is they're done. They've moved up. There's no chance of catching them at this point. But
Birmingham has 2 games in hand, and they're like 11 points clear already of Wrexham. Yeah, you're not catching Birmingham. Birmingham's going up.
Yeah, that's absolutely not happening here. So, while we said they're in second, they're currently 21-8-8 with 71 points. Wycombe, I'm sorry, with 81 points, and Wycombe is sitting at 75 points here. So the next coming matches here, and we're sitting on the precipice of history here, by the way, boys. Going up 3 times, it's never been done. So your next match is against Wigan Athletic. Then you're going to Bristol Rovers. Blackpool's going to be a good match. They always seem to play strong against Wrexham. Charlton, and then we finish it off with Lincoln City. So good chance to move up 3 times in a row. I'd love to see it happen. I just learned that Southampton got relegated. So that was a team that beat the brakes off of Wrexham 2 years ago in a don't remember which cup, but I can tell you it was a cup they beat the brakes off of them. So I'd love to go ahead and see them again in the next league. So that would be exciting and fun to watch here. But got some work to do. Got another 2 weeks to go, boys. Let's get it done.
Right on. Okay. Bay FC did not have a game this week because women's team had their international window open up. So all of the it's not just the U.S. women's national team. All the nations have their games or whatever. A lot of international friendlies, and we talked about it last week that they were playing Brazil twice. So that first game happened on Saturday. U.S. women's national team get the win 2-0 versus Brazil. So Trinity Rodman, right as the 6th minute began, she had a little toe poke off the outside of her foot. She's right around the spot. It goes low right and scores past the keeper. And then Lindsay Heaps had a penalty kick goal. Lily Johannes got tripped inside the box at the 64th minute, and then Heaps converted up and left for her 37th career goal. And a couple of players made their debuts. We had Fallon Tullis-Joyce in box. That was the most important one that we were focusing on. It was her first cap. It's her first clean sheet. She basically just made Emma Hayes' job a lot tougher, trying to figure out who the number 1 goalkeeper is. You had Mandy McGlynn, Casey Murphy, Jane Campbell, Angelina Anderson, and Claudia Dickey all at the January camp as well. So there's just a lot of players fighting for it. Casey Murphy, after Alyssa Nair retired, was basically the first, the person that given the first opportunity to take the job. She hasn't really done that yet. Jane Campbell's played well at the league level, for her club. So that's why she's still kind of hanging around as well. Mandy McGlynn's been getting chances recently as well. And then Angelina Anderson and Claudia Dickey are both they were at the futures camp. So those are on talent on their way up as well. So but Fallon Tullis-Joyce looked really good, and she's been playing spectacularly for Manchester United over in England. Unfortunately, Tierna Davidson did tear her ACL officially. That was announced. The match happened on 3/29, but that's where they announced it this past week. She's out for the remainder of 2025. That's a big blow to the U.S. women's national team backline, but it's also a big opportunity for somebody else to step up. So I am going to the game in San Jose on Tuesday, and I will be able to tell you what I see firsthand. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And they're playing Brazil again. So Brazil back-to-back matches. And I'll be able to see, who's playing well, and I'll be able to see the stuff that the TV isn't, looking at, because I can watch the all 22 with my own damn ojos right there, So really excited for that. Also, throwing in the Spanish for to piss people off, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, USA is poised also to host the 2031 Women's World Cup, as there were no other bidders. So they're going to get the 2031 Women's World Cup here after hosting the 2026 Men's World Cup next season. So about 5 years after. That was kind of the schedule the last time it happened, where in 1994 the Men's World Cup was here in USA, and then 5 years later in '99, U.S. women got to play at home, and that was kind of the beginning of a lot of fandom for millennials of the women's national team, myself included, was watching that. I was 13 years old watching, that crazy game at Pasadena. And so that's going to be another similar timeline, a similar progression happening here. History may not perfectly repeat, but goddamn does it rhyme, All right. Also, the United Kingdom, same situation for the 2035 Women's World Cup. They're the only nation that put in a bid, so they'll probably end up being the hosts for that. So there is your soccer update. Ripped through that bad boy. All right. Tyler, you've got a couple of notes here. You added one for
You might as well just rip them both off at the same time. They're kind of going hand in hand here, to be honest with you.
All right. So baseball, MLB is looking to get a cap. Manfred said that disparity in teams' rosters needs to be cleaned up. And then you also added for football, the Bengals are threatening to relocate if they don't get a new stadium roof.
Which one you want to start with, boys? Manfred, calling out owners and saying that the disparity is it needs to be cleaned up. Meanwhile, you got owners in the NFL threatening to leave every second. So
what a goddamn hypocrite.
Let's
start there. Let's just go. Let's go. A hypocrite of the highest order.
Yeah.
The way that he, handheld John Fisher through this whole situation, and put him on the, the governing board or whatever the hell it's called now too, just like doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And now he has the nerve to say some like little piddling little comment thing to like, keep the Yankees owners happy or whatever, or the Dodgers owners happy. Like, oh yeah, we should probably get some spending happening. Go F yourself, man. We all really hate him for what he did to the A's, and the complacency that he basically is allowed to happen over like with a lot of small market teams. The White Sox are having issues. The Royals are
the Marlins.
They're starting to threaten the Marlins. The like the list goes on and on. Arizona.
Yeah.
That's another one. Like, it's just
and the Rays saga has just now taken a new turn because they're currently playing in a minor league team because their roof isn't.
Yep, exactly. So
accessible. You can't play a game there.
All of a sudden, that deal that they had in place, they were locked in to be basically right across the street from their current site in St. Petersburg. That deal is now gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like so now they're back at square one.
I believe St. Petersburg or wherever the stadium is at just they want to fix the roof. Mm-hmm. And Tampa Bay, the Rays are like, no, we want a stadium. So it's just
I don't even know where to begin with that, but yeah, that whole situation is a cluster of the highest order, and it's just the people that are getting screwed the most are fans, and we got screwed.
Absolutely,
big time.
Mean, like speaking, about Manfred and John Fisher is. What I'll say is like, yeah, it's definitely hypocrisy. It's, 100%, just a few years ago, Manfred was saying it's going to be a major mistake for MLB to leave the city of Oakland just because of like how many people are here. You can go and look at the numbers. It's only been a week or so. The A's in Sacramento, they barely got a sellout on opening night. And then you're telling me that they got another 10,000 on the other games? Nah. We know small crowds. That stadium was empty and it can only hold about 14,000 fans. It's only about 10,000 seats. And then you got a bunch of they're selling on the lawn.
Yeah, they're now advertising 2 for $25 ticket specials or whatever too, because to try to
it's failing.
I thought they were sold out. I thought they were sold out.
We were told by the Sacramento media. We were told by the clown over there at the Las Vegas Review-Journal that, these tickets are selling. These are hot. These are flying off the shelves. Well, where's everybody at?
The other thing too, the piece of shit Kings owner who allow this to happen, right?
Vivek Ranadive, let's name him.
Yeah. He isn't doing so well with his franchise. I mean, look at the Kings. Right now, to Vince's point, if ticket sales were so great for either one of those teams, right? Then why are they handing out Tower Bridge double headers? You get the price of 2 games for $60 to go to a Kings game and go to an A's game. If tickets were off the shelf, you wouldn't be doing a dirt cheap promo that makes you no money.
They are directionless organizations that both organizations, the A's, they have not been committed to winning. They have not been committed to winning a World Series. They were never committed to winning. The winning teams that, just a few years ago, Matt Olson, Matt Chapman, those teams that won 97 games, I believe 3 years in a row, those teams, that was in spite of the ownership. Those players, all of them, are gone because John Fisher didn't want to pay them. You could easily have 100-win team right now if you would have retained a majority of that talent. All right. So now they're handing out these contracts. That's all A's fans have been asking for when they were here in Oakland. So there's a reason why they're doing it now. And it's because now that they're in Sacramento, you're trying to get any type of audience you can get, which is not working. No, you've tarnished your brand. You've tarnished your team. And you know what? It's spreading. Look at the photos of other teams. The White Sox, nobody is there. Nobody is there. And it's happening in Arizona. It's happening in Colorado. It's happening all over the league. People are not going to the game. And I think it's because of a few things. It's because of apathy for ownership. It's apathy of these contracts that teams aren't competitive. Ownerships are after real estate deals and not after really truly competing to win a championship for their franchise. And I think people are seeing through to that. And ground zero was Oakland, and that's just a fact of the matter that I think the narrative, MLB and these other sports teams, they can think that they're winning the narrative. You can go talk to anybody. And I talk to a lot of people in my daily life about, because they know I'm into sports. A lot of people know that I'm avidly talking about this. They already know. They know that the A's weren't serious people, and you talk to them, they talk about the franchises that they're fans of, and they're losing interest. I met a guy the other day. He's like, I'm losing interest in the Mariners because they're just not serious. It was fun. It was exciting when they got the stadium. We had A-Rod, we had Ken Griffey Jr., we had this, we had that, but they're just not serious. It doesn't feel like they're truly committed to winning a World Series. That now even Seattle, with what they did to the minor league team, I think it was Modesto.
Modesto Nuts.
The Modesto Nuts that, we're moving this team unless you give us a new stadium. You think Modesto has the budget to surrender $50 million, $25 million for a minor league baseball team? No, Modesto has a lot of other things. Cities have a lot of other things to do with their checkbook before they hand out hundreds of millions of dollars to a billionaire owner. I'm glad that the A's are failing. I'm glad that everybody's waking up to it, because it's, guess what? Bullshit.
Yep.
It's BS. It's BS that Cincinnati, the stadium's not that old. You designed it that way.
Exactly.
The Cincinnati Bengals designed that stadium. They paid the architect and engineer to have a open roof. Now that everybody else is going to the dome and they get to host concerts and this and that and the other. We should have thought of that. We want that now. Well, you should have thought of that when you designed the stadium, which was not that long ago. And then look at the climate that you play in. You're in Cincinnati. You think somebody would have said, hey, you know what's a good idea? Have a dome, because then we can host concerts. We can host events. We don't got to worry about the weather. We can get into the Super Bowl rotation because the weather's going to be perfect. It's mind-numbing that these billionaires don't think of this. And then they come back and ask the fan to pass a bill and hand over their funds and still pay the ticket price and buy the jersey and buy the concession because of your dumb mistake. It's stupid. So I'm glad that everybody's waking up to it. I'm glad that fans as a whole are rejecting this nonsense. That's the only silver lining that I can have from this, because it's nonsense. It needs to end. It absolutely needs to end.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that was a good debate to the end there.
It's a great button to end it on. I don't think we need to add anything else to it. This was excellent.
Yeah, man. Houston's winning, so hopefully you get your
stop. Yeah, hopefully the count is stopped, and at least one of my brackets is getting me into the winner circle.
Houston's hitting up the bank after hours. They're making threes bank shots here, so it looks like everything's going right for them.
Money.
Cold hard cash.
That's all I got, unless you guys got something else for the good of the order here.
Let's wrap this bad boy up.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for listening to the SVT podcast. Subscribe on YouTube and hit the bell to get alerts when we go live. Also, if you don't have time to listen to the full episodes, we're putting out several segments throughout the week on YouTube. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Threads at SVT Sports Pods. Slide into the DMs. We would love to interact with all of you.
Thank you so much.
Later, guys.
Good night.